Okay guys, we're gonna start off. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use for meat. This is 4 pork chops, and these are center cut pork chops, okay? What I did is I cut out the bone, and we're gonna sear these bones first to get some good flavor going, and then I just diced up the meat into, you know, medium-sized little cubes like this. You size them however you want to. We're gonna start off with searing the bones, and here I have a nice sized skillet. We're gonna put a little bit of oil. The skillet's already hot. What I do is I lay down the bones and get some sear on them. And we start with this. And we're going to add a little bit of salt to those. We're going to layer our seasoning as we go. Okay, and this just takes a few minutes because the heat is pretty high. See, and when they're not ready to release, the meat will tell you when it's ready. See, it doesn't let go. It's not ready to turn yet. So we're just going to let it be for a few minutes, and we'll be back as soon as it's ready to turn. Okay, the meat has been searing for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to give it a turn, and as you can see, it releases itself when it's ready. You see, that's what you want. Okay, we're going to cook this side. I'm going to cover it so it doesn't splatter all over, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, now that we have the meat seared on both sides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. We're going to place it in a bowl, and we're going to add the remaining part of the meat. And we're going to add a little bit of salt to this, not too much. And we're going to sear this off as well. Okay, now we're going to give this a little stir around, making sure everything is seared. We're not going to cook this all the way at this point. We just want to get a little bit of a sear on it. And you want the fire a little hot so that it doesn't start to boil itself with its own juices. Okay, this has been on the stove for about 8 minutes. Now that we have a real light sear on it, I'm going to turn the heat down, and we're going to take the meat out and place it in the bowl with the bones that we have already seared. Okay, and we are going to start sauteing our vegetables. Okay, so I placed the meat here, and here in the skillet we're going to add just about a teaspoon of oil, and we're going to drop in our onion. I have a half of a white onion sliced thinly and 2 stalks of celery diced very thinly. We're going to add just a little tiny pinch of salt to that, and we're going to saute these until they're just about translucent. Okay, now that the onions are translucent and the celery has softened just a little, we are going to add in our garlic. And here I have 2 large cloves of garlic that's been minced. Okay, we're going to just saute that. And that goes pretty quick because the skillet's kind of hot still. Okay, now we are going to cook our spices. Here I have is a teaspoon of comino, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and about a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to incorporate that in there. And as soon as you start smelling that garlic and the comino, we're going to add in our tomato. Here I have 1.5 of diced Roma tomatoes, and we're going to cook those down just a little bit, but we are also going to add some crushed tomato as well, and that's what's going to give our broth all the flavor, to pick up all these brown bits that are on our skillet that gives us all that flavor. Okay, I can start smelling all those spices. Now we're going to add in our crushed tomato, which is about a can of crushed tomato. Any brand will do. We're going to get this hot, and then we are going to add our liquid. Let this cook down for about 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, this has been cooking down for about 2 minutes, and it's picked up all the brown bits that were on the bottom of the skillet. Now, this is optional. I like to use some chicken bouillon, powdered chicken bouillon. If you don't like it or don't prefer it, just leave it out. It doesn't matter. I just like it because it adds a lot of flavor to the liquid, to the broth that we're going to add right now. We are going to add about 1.5 cups of chicken stock. If you don't have chicken stock, that's okay. Just add water. Okay, now at this point, we're going to add our calabazita. Okay, and this, what I use is Tatuna squash. If you want to use zucchini or yellow squash, you can. Use whatever your family prefers. Here is 3 of them, 3 medium-sized ones that I diced into 1-inch cubes. You slice them however you like. This is just the way I like to slice my calabacita. Okay, we're going to get this to a simmer, and then we're going to add the meat back in. First, we are going to add our corn. This is 1 cup of frozen corn. You can use canned corn if you like, or fresh corn. Really up to you. Okay, and this is where you're going to taste for seasoning to make sure everything is seasoned properly. Okay, if it needs a little bit more salt, you add the salt. That's up to you, how you want to go with the seasoning. Okay, I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, and we're going to give this a taste. And I think for my liking, it needs a little tiny bit more salt. That's good right there. Okay, we're going to bring it to the simmer like I said, and then we're going to add the meat. We're going to cover it and let it go for about 30 minutes or until the calabacita is nice and tender. So I'll be back in a few minutes to show you how it looks. Okay guys, now that this is at a full simmer, we are going to add the meat back in it. Give this a stir, and we're going to let this cook down for about 20 to 25 minutes, okay, at low heat. It doesn't have to be too hot, just for it to all simmer and finish cooking off. Doesn't that just look delicious? It smells delicious in here. Now we are still going to add our cilantro, which is about 1/2 cup of diced cilantro. If your family doesn't like it, just leave it out. No big deal. I personally love it, and it gives the food, just takes it to a whole nother level. Okay guys, I'll be back in about 25 minutes when this is done cooking. Okay guys, it's been about 25 minutes and this is ready. It smells delicious in here. Okay, you can tell that the calabacita is cooked, but you can just cut into it with your spoon, and if it breaks, it's ready. And then of course, if you don't like it so tender, you stop cooking it before. It's up to you. Okay guys, I'm going to plate this up and show you what it looks like. This smells delicious. I'm going to show you up close. Okay guys, here's our wonderful food for today, which I am calling just pork chops with calabacita or calabacita con carne de puerco. It's up to you what you want to call it. I call it delicious. And you can pair this up with some Mexican rice, some refried bean, just like this, with some homemade corn tortillas. Anything goes with this plate. It's delicious. Well, thank you guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, share on your social media, like our Facebook page. We'll see you next time guys. Talk to y'all later. Bye.